What's up, y'all?
You know what time it is? It's about to be that time. What's up, everybody? It's Gomu Day. All right, 5-6. You know, Luffy's numbers. Happy belated birthday to Luffy. This chapter came out super early, I saw yesterday. 3 p.m. my time. So, by the time we finish this stream, it's going to be close to 24 hours that this chapter has been out. Yeah. Hope everybody has some time to check out the new theory video. Finally put it out. I know I've been talking about it for a while. I think I even mentioned it on the mini reverie after like
another one.
10:43. You know, this whole Joy Boys a snake thing. Check out the evidence, people. Check out the evidence. I put a lot of time into that. The algorithm was pushing the video down. I was hoping to get more views on it. So if you haven't seen it, people were saying they weren't getting notifications about it. Joy Boy is a snake. Search it up. It's in the pinned comment. And yeah, I'm excited to get into this. Let's go. Michael Wavy, member for 6 months, said, "Let me see that graphic tee, my guy." You know, One Piece fans know what it is. You know what it is. You know what cover this is. It's one of the best color spreads in the post time skip era. Got this from Uniqlo, certified. And yeah, Mr. Hyena asked, "Has the stream started yet?" It has. Alright. 5-5 is Luffy's birthday. That was yesterday. So today is Gomu Day because it's 5-6 for me. You know, I don't know. Might be 5-7 for some people. Let's get the OST going. Let's go. Louis, what's up? Lucky Doggy said bearded Randy is the best Randy. Young Rex said big love from Algeria. That's what's up. Alright, I'm pulling this chapter up. 20 years. Chapter title is 20 years. Fun fact, that's how long I've been a fan of One Piece. 20 years. I'm in my 20th year now. Oh, man. Alright. Finally going back to the cover story. Finally going back to the cover story, people. Alright. Alright. Okay. 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 Cracker and brulee. Is Germa trying to infiltrate Chocolate Town again? So are we? Is that basically confirming that it's Reiju and or Ichiji that were coming in? Yep. Oh yeah, I see them right there, Reiju and Ichiji. So. Yep, that was the safe bet. The safe bet is, you know, I mean, it was fun talking about maybe it's Crocodile and his bones, maybe it's, you know, the Blackbeard Pirates and all that. But it, like, you know, I say this a lot. Sometimes the easiest answer is the right answer. So everybody was like, oh, it's not Germa because of the shoes. I was like, but they don't always wear the Germa shoes, though. We've seen Reiju in heels and, you know, we've seen them in regular shoes. But then when they transform, it, you know, they get that other stuff. But man, is Cracker about to... He still looks like he's all bandaged up. That's crazy. It's been like a month. Alright, we back on top of Onigashima. We back. Gigantic hockey fist in the sky. Basically the size of Onigashima. Shout out to the boy Luffy. Momo doesn't think he can do it. Now, I said this chapter's got to be, like, really Momo focused. Like, this has to be what leads us into, like, Onigashima moving, so let's see where we get. it's not. I know you will find a way to revive the Koski clan in the future. He's remembering his family. Yep. I knew he would get more, more flashbacks here. Alright. Momo's really putting his head into it. Luffy looks like he's about to start sending this fist down on the next page. I mean, this is kind of crazy. Alright. Oh. Kaido's like, alright. Let's see how strong this is. I'm not gonna move. Kaido's sitting here saying, hit me with your best shot. This man is, he's confident. He's confident. This country's hero burned to death 20 years ago. Flaming drum dragon? What is this? Did this man just light himself on fire? Alright. What is this? Alright. This has been a lawless land since then. They've waited all this time for you saviors to show up. Wow, it's actually burning Luffy. Okay. Don't worry, it's okay to let go. I assure you I won't run. After all, your right hand won't come crashing down because I'm going to vaporize it. Okay. Alright. Great blazing dragon torch. Like that. Like I'll let that happen. Alright, Goma Goma no. Rising dragon. Okay. Getting that Hyogoro flashback. I think I said we would probably get a Hyogoro flashback because we were talking about last time that we need to make sure that this has Rio on it, right? Gramps taught me how to attack without making contact. I'm gonna knock you to the bottom of hell. Oh boy. Alright. Okay. Bajrang gun. Blazing Bagua. This man turned himself into the Thunder Bagua. Look at this panel of Kaido and the Fist meeting. That's crazy. I think the scale, the size manipulation is, I think the scale is wrong here. Because Kaido actually should not be as big as the Fist, because the Fist was shown to be as big as Onigashima, and Kaido is not as big as Onigashima. Alright. Reference to Hanuman, the Hindu monkey god. Potentially the inspiration for some Wukong. Alright. Shout out to the boy Evil. Shout out to the boy Evil. Alright, next page. Ooh, we moving downstairs. Alright. Hamlet. Usopp. Oh no, Kin Kiku. I didn't mean to drop you. Alright, please be alive. Don't go dying on me. Straw Hat, we're counting on you. Take Kaido down. Finish him for good. Kawamatsu. Alright. This nightmare won't end unless Kaido is driven from this land. Odin flashback. His retainers are getting away. Next page, we're seeing them run again. I mean, this is kind of... I feel like this page is unnecessary. This is Oda stretching things out so he hits something on 1050. Unless we see something new. I want to see something new. Man. I mean, I guess it's a different perspective. You know? Because when we saw the Odin flashback, it was more so focused on Odin getting shot. Here, we're hearing the bang while we're looking at the scabbards. All right, I'll allow it. There's only one place those samurai would go, Curry. They intended to safeguard Odin's heir, Momonosuke. They intend to. All right, so he has a son. Fine. I'll do it myself. I wish TCB just took the liberty and just made Kaido say, fine, I'll do it myself right here. Oh, we're still in this flashback. Okay. Okay. Kaido got bigger, alright. Please have mercy, stop hunting the Kosuke clan. Oh, damn. Are we staying in this flashback? Alright. Don't hesitate to shoot any vermin that dares defy their shogun. What of Odin's wife? She was confirmed dead in Bakura Town. No one else was seen fleeing the ruins of Odin Castle. Kosuke line's officially dead. Man, we're still in it. Still in it. Still in it. Is this whole chapter gonna be like more flashback? Now the time has come for you daimyo to choose. Will you help us usher in a new Wano? Will you try to wage war? Stupid question. We got Zoro's uncle right here. Because we know it's not his dad, right? Alright. Shout out to Yasuie. We refuse to recognize a shogun that isn't a Kosuke. It's our duty to avenge Odin. Alright, so we're getting to see what, you know, everybody else going up against him afterwards. Kaido decimating. Oh, man. Alright. Orochi's loving it. It would be an insult to call any of you samurai. Damn, savage. If only that fool didn't have Kaido backing him. Orochi has ears everywhere. Kaido's forces will find us. This guy holding this dying guy's got the Yosaku fit. Yeah, it's also what Usopp is wearing right now. I don't know what you call that, like what he has on his head. The building of the factories. Seeing people work in the factories. I like this. I like this. Let's live in this. Let's remind ourselves. Let's go back to like what they've been doing. You know, let's get that reminder before we finish all of this off. Like, what have these guys been doing to these people? All right. Track down every able-bodied young man you can and bring them here. Yep. Yeah. Subjugation. It's a big Oda theme. You know, obviously the world government does it, and Nell did it. Yeah. This entire country will become our weapons factory. So wait, don't take him, Daddy. Damn. This guy's just stealing this. Oh, man. All right. The river has gone dark. There's no more drinking water. Yeah, let's sit in this. Let's sit in this. Give us these reminders. Oh, we got skulls on the ground here. Crops won't grow. All right, Oda's in his bag right now. Taking it to Udon. Next page. You can still breathe. You can still work. Keep your hands moving. All right. Don't count on any miracles coming to save you. But how many miracles have we seen Luffy perform, right? Shout out to Sanji. Borders are staying closed. We're going to be opening those borders. Eventually. Eventually. Certainly by the end of the series. We have to be patient. It will be a long winter. We have to believe in Toki's words. Alright. Damn. Orochi is such a sav.
Savage.
Look at these fools. They actually ate the leftovers of the defective smiles. That's it. Let's have the rest of Abisu follow suit. Their bellies will stay empty and their loved ones will continue to keel over. But they won't be able to do anything except grin brightly. They'll never stop laughing. It's the perfect fate for this country's pests. Wow. Yes. I was just about to say, please transition into real-time Orochi right now, please. Komurasaki! I'm taking you with me. You shouldn't have underestimated the wrath of the Kurozumi clan. Alright, come on. Come on, Yuri. I'll be seeing you in hell. We can drink together down there. Seems things are getting out of hand here. Yep. And here comes Denjiro. The final head. Switch to the lanterns. Please make Orochi disappear. Alright. Will this be it, though? Free us from this hell. Give me a sip of clear water. Yeah.
Another one.
The present hears the cries of the past. After more than one Marine Ford. What was this guy's name again? Denjiro is back. Alright. Damn. Woden Creative was in his bag when he colored this Kaido. This Kaido looks fierce. Why are people still putting, like, skin tones on Luffy? It's all white. Oda confirmed it on the cover of Jump. See, there we go, right? Yeah. Jockey Pop has got it right. That's what Luffy looks like.
Savage.
Okay. 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 Time to talk about it. Time to talk about this. Enigma said, Denjiro finally finished manually filing his taxes. He did. Yeah. Shout out to the almost 300 people in here. What's up, what's up, what's up? Like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. Apparently 70% of the people who watch the streams in the channel are not subscribed. Hit that button. Maxo said, call it cope, but I think Hiyori still has something left to do. She's got to. She's got to. It's not over. It's not over. But I want to know what Denjiro has been doing, though. Like, it shouldn't have taken him 40 chapters to walk downstairs or upstairs or something. Like, Kev Dog, what's up, man? Said I really like the through line of a burning Kaido to a burning Orochi. Yeah. I also like the through line of the flashback. Alright? So you cannot tell me that Oda is not trying to wrap this up by 1050. That's it. He spent this whole chapter reminding everybody what's going on. Like, this is the next chapter. I said, we need to take down Orochi and Kaido kind of in the same, like, space. So, 1049, that's going to be Momonosuke, the lanterns, all of that stuff, moving Onigashima, Luffy punching Kaido, and, like, just finishing this. And then hopefully we go into a Kaido flashback for 1050 or something else happens. This is crazy. Cassidy said Orochi is definitely dead this time, guys. Seriously. Probably. Maybe. Probably not. Now, keep in mind, though, that the... keep in mind that in the Yamata no Orochi folklore, the tail must be cut as well. So... Emil said Denji was waiting in the closet for drama points. Shout out to Brandon King. Member for 6 months, said 3 months. Also, small Kaido is within Lava Kaido. Okay. Okay. I mean, that sounds like a final form to me. All right. This is Kaido's Shadow's Asgard moment, where he's about to, you know, he gets bigger, and then he gets taken down in his biggest form. That's just the way things go. Let's see. Muvahed, thank you. Said, tinfoil hat, please. All right, there you go. Luffy has another form in his awakening. Oda told him to watch him carefully, so we may see a new form upon the finishing blow. A fire form? Fire meets fire? I mean, if he's the sun god now, right? Then Luffy should be able to, like, harness the power of the sun. Oh, man. It's going to be... Oh, God. Whatever Oda has in store, I'm ready. King J said Denjiro is officially the only person to kill someone twice. Whoa, superhero, what's up? Kip said Kaido's a menace to society, like he's truly a terror to see in action. Yeah. Yosaku's uncle confirmed, yeah. Yosaku's from Wano. Catching up. Yeah, the lanterns hit for sure, Zimb. Momo said parallel to Kyoshiro cutting Komurasaki. Yeah, I had talked about that being a potential possibility to have that parallel. And that's what we get. That's why I wasn't too, like, shocked by it. It's the expected outcome. It's the expected outcome. It's the one that was set up. The fun outcome would have been, Hiyori being the one to do it. But I'm not I'm not upset with this. I'm not against it. It works, right? Because take into consideration, right? The chapter's called 20 Years. Denjiro and Hiyori are the two members of the alliance that actually had to like withstand the 20 years like directly around and with Orochi. Ashura Doji, sure, like he was there, but he wasn't actively around Orochi. Kawamatsu was in a prison. Denjiro was literally smiling in this man's face like, yeah, I'm your friend until I'm gonna cut your head off. And then, you know, Murasaki, who knows what was going on between the two of them, right? So this is the meaningful conclusion.
Savage.
It's the meaningful conclusion. Isopod, what's up? He said, next week, Hiyori, what were you doing all this time? Denjiro, plenty. Now let's go. Alright. Najib said, did I get invited to the latest mini reverie? I saw that Roger did another one. No. I think Roger's trying to change the, I think he's trying to change who he's talking with, you know, because there were no repeats in the mini reverie that he just did. So he was trying to hit like the other side of the community. So next time he does it, who knows? Shout out to Posen Theory. Member for 3 months said, you heard of the Buddhist myth where Shiva, Hanuman, is an avatar, and the Lord of the Dance is killed and resurrected as the soundless Lord of Ashes. So King J, he was putting some stuff in the Discord this week after I put out the Joy Boys a Snake theory, and a lot of the stuff he was putting was talking about Shiva, and but I don't remember anything about the Lord of the Ashes and stuff, but it's interesting. It's interesting. Isopod, what's up? Thanks. Said, this is how Yamato no Orochi is hunted in ancient times. Catches on fire, throws head at prey. My guy Dan DeCarlo, he did the art for the Snake Joy Boy on the thumbnail. He said, when will we see adult Momo? We all know he's going to look like Odin. We do all know that he's going to look like Odin. It's going to be a pivotal moment. I mean, I'm pretty sure he needs to be in dragon form to move Onigashima. It would be cool to have Kaido see him, you know, look like Odin, right? Because he seems to have some sort of like PTSD with Odin's, you know, visage, right? But I just don't know if we're going to get that in the story right now. Like, everything is being set up for this to be like the final blow, right? You know, this is Luffy in the sky doing his gigantic King Kong gun, you know, and Doflamingo underneath him doing his, you know, spider's web attack. That's what we're getting here. We're getting that to the nth degree with Gear 5 Luffy. And Kaido turning into a flaming Kaido. Oh man. Shout out to Grizzly Adams, appreciate it. Said Luffy has still not shown any meaningful fire or heat manipulation with his Sun God awakening. Until he does, I'm assuming the other potential Godfords won't follow their element explicitly either. Yeah. But I think that this is the perfect lead-in for him to do something, you know, severely fire related. I mean, we talked about it last week. Like, Luffy, you know, turns his fist into a flaming red hawk, right? And then there's just this giant, you know, flaming meteor fist coming down on Kaido. You know, then it's going to be a battle of whose fire is better, right? Which is something that Luffy's going to have to deal with eventually in the story when he actually is going up against a certain Magma Boy. So this could really be a whole setup for Luffy to be able to take on Akainu. I mean, that's kind of what this feels like. You know, Akainu was sitting there laughing at Ace, like, "Hey, you know what's hotter than fire? Magma, boy." And Luffy's gonna be like, "You know what's hotter than magma? The sun, my man." So, yeah, it's the only way out of this. It's the only way out. Shout out to a certain nerd, Mickwing, who said, "This is a reminder that Wano should be liberated, opened up and ruled by Akatsuki and not taken by the world government." Right, which is why it'll hit even harder if the world government comes in, and that's exactly what happens. Because look, Luffy, every arc that he goes on, he is the liberator, right? He comes in, he frees the people. We were talking about this before there was even the Sun God connection. Like, before there was even the Nika Joy Boy thing about Joy Boy freeing slaves. Like, that's just the pattern of the story. Going back to even the first arc of just freeing some Marines from the, you know, the tyranny of Captain Morgan, right? But then you just go arc to arc to arc. Luffy is always liberating and freeing somebody. There's no arc that, like, changes that. But maybe this is the one, right? Temporarily, until he actually has, you know, like, if we're gonna go up against the world government, I feel like Luffy needs just some extra motivation. Talk about it a lot. Hancock is totally going to be one of the captured warlords. You know, that's going to be motivation enough for Luffy to take on the Celestial Dragons, but, you know, I mean, it's just the whole story Luffy has been liberating people. Orangetown. Gets Buggy out of there, allows Boodle to take his town back. Like, Syrup Village. Frees everybody from, you know, Klahadore. The Baratier. Don Krieg wants to, like, steal and, like, subjugate these cooks. Luffy frees them from that sort of that commitment. And frees Sanji, liberates him from his, like, commitment to Zeph as well, right? Hitting even deeper levels. Nami, frees Nami from her commitment to Arlong, frees the people of Kokoyashi. Like, you can go to everything. Like, frees Laboon from needing to hit his head against the the red line, by giving him something else to look forward to. Man, it's just every arc he's always doing this. So, will Luffy have to free Elbaf from Loki? I mean, if he's a trickster, you know, that's subjugating people and all of that, then potentially, right? But I feel like Elbaf probably has everything together. It's going to be freeing them from whoever shows up to Elbaf, you know, because if Big Mom pulls up and anything like that, like, then it could be that Luffy frees Big Mom and the Giants from their, you know, animosity towards each other somehow. EJ Days Zeus said Sabo's dead with a bunch of exclamation points. I don't think so. I don't think so. Very motivated. What's up? Said when you're updating a Tony when you're updating attorney account info and mistype financial as flamingo because Randy is talking about Dofi. Yeah. Make sure you got all of your flamingo information input correctly. All right. Let's see. Free Zoro from his pirate hunter license. Momo said the fruit is named Model Nika, not Sun God Nika, but so many people call it the Sun God fruit, which is not totally wrong, but Luffy has no real god powers. It's still rubber, which is why I really want the fire properties that Luffy has to be because he's part Lunarian and not because of his fruit. I talk about that a lot. So even though I might call the fruit the Sun God and, you know, and all of that because it's implied, I still don't want Luffy's fire to be because of the fruit, but, you know, hey. Data entry plus One Piece, what am I even doing?
Savage.
Maxo said, yo, imagine Hiyori carries Orochi's head out of the room. Yo, that'd be savage. I'm here for it. Put it on a spike. Let everybody see. Let's explore the space. Let's explore the savagery. Brandon King said, I'm still on the Fujitora on those ships train because his inspiration, Zatoichi, was in a film called Zatoichi Goes to the Fire Festival. Yeah, people have been talking about that for a long time. And we had even mentioned it in a stream that it was like, you know, what if the person who actually stops Onigashima is Fujitora, right? You know, we talked about that as a possibility, like, I think, like, immediately after Onigashima went into the air, because we, you know, the Zatoichi Goes to the Fire Festival has been talked about, you know, from the moment that we knew that there was a fire festival, right? And we knew that Fujitora was based on Zatoichi since Dressrosa. So, you know, because Oda designs all of the admirals based on different actors. And there's a theory out there that I got sent. You know, I forgot to watch it too. I meant to watch it. Someone sent it to me. I can't even remember who did it. But they said that there is a movie that all of the admirals, including Fujitora, the actors that they're based on, are in, right? And then there's another actor in the movie that was also pretty famous. And the theory was basically suggesting that that actor is what Green Bull is going to look like. And I was like, I mean, I don't even need to watch this to know that that's confirmed, because that's just such an Oda thing to do. So Loki versus Usopp when the monster trio are sleeping because of Wano injuries would be peak. Yeah, King J. I mean, it's going to be Usopp's arc. I don't know if we're going there right away, though. We're going to go there. I don't know if we're going there right away, though. Let's see. Mobile said I miss Soge King and his theme song. Yo, if Soge King comes back, it's a wrap. You know, I just always have this feeling that the government thinks that Soge King and God Usopp are two different people. So there's still an active bounty on Soge King. EJ said, I still think Shanks is still an Elbaf with Buggy and Mihawk. I think Buggy's going to go back to Impel Down. And that there's going to be an Impel Down 2.0 where he escapes again. Wheezy Bird said, by the way, cover story is classic bait and switch. It's not Germa invading. I mean, hey, if it's a bait and switch, I'm here for it. But, you know, Oda, he'll throw curveballs now and again, but then a lot of the time he'll just follow the story the way that it's, you know, set up. You know, case in point, this chapter, Denjiro taking out Orochi. It's not the way everybody wanted it, but it was the most likely conclusion, you know? King J said that theory was from Simply Kevin's channel. That's right, it was Simply Kevin, yeah. I still have to go and watch that. Shout out to Simply Kevin. Yeah. That man figured out what Green Bull's gonna look like. Chan said, by the way, Randy, loved the Joy Boy Snake Theory video. Just watched it a few hours ago. Nice details. Thank you, Chin. Again, if you haven't seen the Joy Boy as a Snake Theory, it is the pinned comment on the stream right now. Really love that theory. Probably my favorite theory video that I've made right now. And, yeah. Let's see. Will the giant sword come into play at all? Loggy, at this point, I don't know. Like, there were a lot of cool ideas for it. You know, Luffy turns giant, grabs the sword, punches Kaido with it, doesn't actually use it as a sword. Kid uses it. You know, a lot of cool ideas, but it's probably just an interesting aesthetic. I would love a flashback or a Void Century video, or, you know, a Void Century flashback, something like that. We actually learn the significance of that gigantic sword by being, you know, Orz's sword or something. You know, this is the original Orz's skull here. You know, like that kind of stuff would be pretty neat. Vern, what's up, man? How are those games? Said Captain, I can't play his theme for him, but my man Ty might not make it today. Told him to hold it down for him, but hey, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, I know Ty's in the air right now. Let's see. Barry said power scalar voice. But can God Usopp level Soge King, you know... But can God Usopp level Soge King lock onto Lurking Legend Chuji's eye? I mean... The song implies that he would be able to. Lock on. Pretty sure there's a line in the song about a mouse. As me, lock on. Like, it would be a high diff fight though. Chuji versus Soge King. That's high diff right there. First said the games were great, but we lost, so that means Ty won. Chuji can use the sword. Duh, guys, Chuji. Right? And Sanji is already on the edge of Onigashima with Chuji near the sword. This is it. Chuji's gonna use the sword, guys. That's it. Let me see those Chuji emojis. Like, this is it. Game-breaking theory. Chuji's gonna use the sword. Giovanni said that the chapter was a bit of a snooze. I was let down by Denjiro when I saw the hand. I swore Hiyori was about to pop off. I don't think the chapter was a snooze. Like, I actually love the flashback in the middle. It's what we needed. Because I would have felt like if we didn't have that we were missing a little bit of the tension and everything. And that's going to hit if the anime, like, does it correctly. Like, if they can actually, you know, like, actively show all of this desperation from these people and everything. Because that's what's happening, right? We're getting the flashback. The lanterns are rising. Momonosuke needs to move Onigashima. Denjiro takes out Orochi. Luffy's about to send Kaido down to the ground. Like, this is it, guys. Like, people think that this is not it. Like, this is it. Look at those Chujis. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Kaido's going down. That's it. And then, you know, we'll probably have a little bit of a party, right? And then the world government ships will pull up, and maybe Big Mom will crawl out of that cavern and, like, steal someone's soul, like, right as they're partying, like, grabs Usopp's soul and heads to Elbaf. Like, who knows? Something needs to happen, right? Because it's the Thriller Bark parallel, okay? And there's even more of a parallel to the ending of Thriller Bark here as well, because Luffy is totally going to light his fist on fire, right? And he's going to open up the sky, and his fist is going to look like the sun. So, and what did Luffy do at the end of Thriller Bark? He took Kaido out, right? And allowed people to see the sun again. We had all those flashbacks to the random people on the ships, to the person who, you know, Sindri's soul was in. You know, she, you know, basically another, like, Okiku metaphor. You know, the folklore, not the character in the series. She was, like, talking about plates and stuff. And they all were so thankful that they had their shadows back, that they were able to walk into the sun again. They were freed. They were liberated by Luffy. So now Luffy's going to liberate Wano, right? But then, just as what happened in Thriller Bark, because Oda loves to like, hit the beats, right? Someone else is going to show up, just like Kuma did. Everybody's having fun. It could be anybody. It could be anybody. But it's probably someone on the world government ships, right? It would make sense if it's Vegapunk. Vegapunk pulls up to Wano. He was set up in Thriller Bark. He was set up in... I mean, Punk Hazard throughout. Like, we've been talking about him. We have Momo's fruit on the table. We got Luffy's fruit on the table. We got Sanji's connection to Mads. We have Frankie with 3D2Y. Like, these Vegapunk questions need to get answered. So, or it's the Revolutionary Army to match Kuma. So it's like, it's either one of those things that could be a parallel to Kuma. But it's probably going to be something that's going to be that's more so going to mess Luffy and the crew up, because Luffy, just like at the end of Thriller Bark, I think he's going to be packed up, but also Zoro's going to be packed up, which leaves Sanji to kind of handle whatever's going to happen. And maybe they can't handle it, and they have to run, and they have to go away, and they have to get out of Wano, and the party, like, doesn't finish and everything, and Luffy's just going to have to free everybody later. Marco says, hey, let's go to Sphinx, like, you know, regroup and figure this out. then we have this sort of like dramatic moment with everybody, or Luffy gets captured, right? And then we really get like this inversion of like even Sabaody, and now we don't have Luffy anymore, but we have the crew, and we have to get Luffy back. I don't know. There's a lot of ways that the story could go, but I really think we're going to hit that Thriller Bark parallel more than anything. Let's see. Giovanni said it felt overdone. We've seen the desperation like 3 times. I wish it was something else. I disagree. I feel like this was right on the money. We got to actually see from the perspective of the people. It's a different perspective. We've seen their desperation here and there and all of that, but like this flashback really, really focused on the people. And yeah, it was long. It was drawn out. It was stretched out because Oda's trying to have this all happen by 1050. And that's just the way it is. But you know, it's a shonen trope. It's just right before you land that final blow, you have to look at the episode that we just had. 1015, right? 1015. Megumi did that whole thing, right? And it was the best part of the episode, you know, to me. Like, the way that they redrew and they had it from the perspective of, like, in a lot of cases, Luffy's own POV through his eyes, the way he was seeing everything. And it just made that punch more meaningful. You see it in so many things. You got to remember these flashbacks, like, what does this punch mean? Because if it's just one big punch, like, that's boring, right? But if it's the punch that carries the weight of an entire super saga, an entire people, all of that, like, that's when we get something that means something. Kaido has, this is his Amaru, this is his Shadow's Asgard, this is, you know, what Big Mom did to make herself grow. It's a trope. When the villain gets big, like figures out a way to increase their size, their mass, their bulk, or whatever, it's always got this, like, you know, this drawback. And it gives you that feeling of, like, nothing was held back. This is 100% of their power. And if Luffy beats Kaido at 100% of his power, then no one is going to be able to scoff at it, right? It's like, no, he won. That's it. It's over. It's a wrap. Catching up on the chat. Joseph Blonde said, great setup. Next week we will finally see Chuji clean up. Vern said, who is that guy behind Hiyori? Odd of Oda to introduce a new character this late into the arc. I agree. And also, odd of Oda to not put them in a silhouette, right? Andrew Hunter said, episode 1015 inspired me to post a theory on who healed the scabbards, and I believe it was Hiyori's mythical Zoan. I mean, we've talked about Hiyori potentially being, you know, the pheasant. But if it has healing properties, that's going to kind of step on Marco's ability. So I'm not sure. Evo said, I definitely expect a subversion with Vegapunk actually being a pretty competent fighter, or at least having solid tools for battle. Yeah, I've always said that. I don't think Vegapunk is a scrub at all. And you know, I've said, what if like Vegapunk is actually the true villain of the arc? You know, who knows? I mean, I think he's going to blur the lines. I think he's just going to be a character that's out for himself. Like, he doesn't really necessarily care if he's helping someone or hurting someone. I think he's like going to be like a chaotic neutral. Like, does this serve me? What do I get from helping this person? What do I gain? Right? I think he would be more interested in experimenting on Luffy than like helping him, because he would want to like understand the gigantification properties from a science perspective rather than understanding that, you know, this kid is the chosen one or anything and is going to liberate the world. He'd probably be like, I don't know, but if you free the world, can I still like experiment? Because the world government lets me kind of do what I want. I just have to do a couple of things for them, and I get carte blanche. So I don't know. All Denji Who jokes aside, what do you actually think Denjiro may have been doing? I don't even know. I don't even know. It's like, because at this point, unless there's some sort of secret way to get off of Onigashima that he knows about, I don't know. Like, what plan could he have possibly tried to enact, or what kind of Sanji at the end of Enies Lobby, Mr. Prince kind of thing could he have done from knowing how Onigashima works, from having been there multiple times over the past 20 years? Like, he's got knowledge that the other members of the Alliance don't have. So he can be used as like a deus ex machina to like get people off of Onigashima, but I also don't think that that's necessarily going to be a problem if Momo can just move Onigashima and then Luffy like softens the landing. But I don't know. I want to see Robin and Brook find that poneglyph that Law ran into. Like, I would love to like cut to them and like where Robin is just at the poneglyph now, because we're getting to the end of all this stuff. She needs that poneglyph. Siddhartha said, Randy, Kaido's comment about Luffy's awakening, that it was something out of a picture book, does he mean some sort of special picture book that he read, like Nolan the Liar or Sora's Book of Germa? I mean, maybe there's a book out there that, you know, kind of talks. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that book would have been burned though. Like, I can't imagine that anything sort of even referencing Joy Boy or Nika or anything like that, you know, wouldn't get Fahrenheited. You know, they let Nolan the Liar around because it fits the world government's narrative. Vern said, anyone else hit by the parallel of the flaming serpents, Kaido and Orochi both doused in flame and beastly imagery. Chapter ends with Orochi's flaming form being felled. Whew. The alliteration, Vern. Whew. Flaming form being felled. Okay. Alright. Yeah, no, I do like that. You know, especially if Joy Boy was a snake, right? So then we have Luffy, who's representative of this other serpent. Yeah. Kev Dog said Vegapunk's going to be really gray in the world of One Piece. I agree. He said, I think he's there to be pushing science further as much as possible, but he would help people he respects like Kuma. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like... It's still that, what do I get out of this, right? So Kuma offered his body to Vegapunk, but said, you can have it once one of the Straw Hats comes to the ship. So I think, like, Vegapunk's got a code where it's like, okay, if you offer me this and I accept, then you can have what you want, and I won't break our terms, right? Because Vegapunk, like, literally waited the 2 years to get Vegapunk, to get Kuma back to finish. But I think it just has to fit with it. Just has to fit. Loggy Doggy said Vern is short for vernacular. Spitting. Kian said, all I want to know is when is the Kaido flashback going to be? I mean, it could be 1050. It could be 1050. We start the flashback as Luffy is, like, beating Kaido. We come back out of it as Kaido is, you know, done. And, you know, we get this realization from Kaido as, like, that Luffy is, you know, the sun god, aka Joy Boy or whatever, and he sort of, like, accepts his defeat because he remembers Rock's putting Joy Boy on this pedestal because because Rox, I believe, was, like, trying to free the world. So it's just like, but he too was, you know, too early. Yeah. Let's see. Do I think it's possible we don't get a Kaido flashback? I mean, it's possible we don't get a Kaido flashback, but eventually we will get the Rocks flashback, which will involve Kaido. But the other thing, too, is like, we're going to get a Yamato flashback, which is also going to, you know, focus on Kaido. Technically, we got a little bit of a Kaido flashback right here, but I mean, like, if we're talking about, like, we're going to see him as a kid or anything like that, I mean, it's only going to be necessary if it fits the narrative, right? We don't need a flashback just to have one. We need one to contextualize the character and solidify plot points that we're going to deal with later on, right? That's why I always look back at Big Mom's flashback as like, okay, well, Oda gave us this flashback, so there has to be things in this flashback that are going to come back, right? So that's why I feel like we're not done with Big Mom, because this whole, like, identity memory thing that she has with, you know, not remembering her 6th birthday, like, that's got to come up. And especially considering she has a daughter that can manipulate memories. So I think, like, you know, putting in Big Mom gotta kind of fix that. It was also showing us Elbaf. It was setting things up. We saw Hajradin, we saw Oimo, Kashi. Like, we understand, you know, it contextualized the relationship between Big Mom and the Giants, which is why if Big Mom was in Elbaf, that would create a conflict that we could deal with later. So it's like, what do we gain from the Kaido flashback, right? If we see him as a kid and he was on some sort of an island that we may be going to or anything like that, then that, you know, sets things up, right? You know, I've said, what if Kureha was a member of Rocks, right? And she took care of Kaido, who was this, like, you know, half Oni, this beast or something, you know, like, maybe that's the Chopper parallel, that, you know, Kaido is Chopper if Chopper went down the, you know, the wrong path, right? Chopper wasn't accepted because he was, you know, not human, not a reindeer or whatever, but Kaido, I guess, maybe half human, half Oni, maybe he wasn't accepted, so he just sort of lashed out, and then shacked up with somebody, shacked up with Rocks. Rocks kind of, like, took him under his wing, changed his name, you know, something that Kaido said, made him think, oh, you might be Joy Boy. All right. And then, like I said, in the snake, theory that I just put out, right? Game of telephone over the years. You have the blue snakes in Skypiea and the Nolan flashback, right? But a dragon is sometimes considered a snake. And what color is Kaido? He's blue, right? So maybe Rox was after the fish fruit because it knew that it would turn you into a blue dragon and figured that's how you become Joy Boy. But then learns out he was wrong, that it's actually the Hito Hito no Mi model Nika that you need in order to become Joy Boy. So that's why he said you can't be Joy Boy either, right? Because he was built up to have this idea as a kid that, like, oh, I'm going to be Joy Boy, right? I have this fruit. I have the blue serpent. I have the blue snake fruit. Like, I'm the dragon. I'm the thing that's been prophesized to return. So Meal said, what characters have good fruits wasted on them? My votes are Orochi, Caribou, and Peccoms. Foxy. Like, imagine that, like, a super competent person with Foxy's fruit. He'd be a menace. Siddhartha said, as we saw a reference of Hanuman in this chapter from Luffy, and burning Kaido is possibly burning Lanka, Ravana. It is a Ramayana reference in which Hanuman was defeated. So you're telling me that there was a story where Hanuman was defeated by a burning dragon of some sort? I don't know. If Mr. Morge is in the chat, he just was like, wait, what? What'd you say? That's a good theory, Chin. Chin said Denjiro has probably been holding off Chuji and Bumbuku this whole time. You might have something there. You might have something there. And Fortrix? We know Fortrix is a problem. Let's see. King J said, Randy, let's assume ZKK happens. Zunisha kills Kaido. Do you think it will end in Too Many Kings sink a ship plotline? Hanuman let Rama kill Ravana, the Oni, as it's Rama's destiny. Rama tamed his wife's dad's bow. Okay, well, in this instance, right, Hanuman would be Luffy. But who's Rama and Ravana? Which one is Kaido in that parallel? Because you're saying Zoro is one of them as well. I don't think ZKK is going to happen. October 25, Spittin', reminding us that Nami called Kaido an oversized snake in chapter 1044. Yeah. Kev Dog said the Chopper Kaido connection is actually kind of fascinating. Never would have thought of this. Yeah, but then it's also like kind of like you know, this like strange what if theory that, you know, that just kind of floats in my head. Like, I really don't expect it, but it would be a really fascinating thing to contextualize Kureha in general. Like, one, why she knows about the D's, why she was so hesitant to take Chopper in, right? Like, what if, like, Kureha was hesitant to take Chopper in because she already dealt with, like, raising a sort of human, like, kind of, like, being a mother figure for someone else, Kaido, on the Rocks pirate ship, right? But then saw him go down the wrong path and didn't think that she'd be able to, like, do a course correction or live with that again, right? Because Kureha would be, you know, would know, like, oh, Kaido's like an emperor now, subjugating a lot of people. Like, I may be responsible for that. Like, that's the kind of, like, fun things when you go back and you reread, like, something like Drum, and you just see, and you look at all of Kureha's lines again, you know, and you're just like, damn. That's always the kind of stuff that I'm always thinking about. Like, how do we make a character that we've already seen, like, just mean so much more? And with a story like this, like, you can do that. You can do that. Is Oda going to? Probably not, but I mean, it's like, it's a fun thought. It's a fun thought. Siddhartha said, imagine Kaido melts Luffy's arm, and when Shanks meets Luffy, he'll say, welcome to the club, boy. Yeah, nah, Luffy's not losing an arm. See, now, Brandon brings something that's interesting, though, right? He said, Kaido dies because of SKK. Shiryu kills Kaido. Because she means death, which is true, and Ryu means dragon, death to the dragon. Like, I mean, like, there's more to that than the whole ZKK movement. Like, if that happened, that would be the exact, like, reasoning. Be wild. It'd be wild. It'd be wild. You know? I mean, imagine... I mean, we talked about this too. Like, you know, what if this isn't the end, right? But that Luffy and Kaido start fighting closer to the shoreline, and they're fighting with the world government against each other, but also against the world government. And then, you know, maybe that's when Blackbeard shows up, and then we get this sort of like Whitebeard moment with Kaido, where Kaido's just decimating the world government, taking on other things, but then also dies in that process, right? Like, he gets that grand death that he wants. Like, there's a lot of opportunities here. It's just, which way does he want to go? Oda has been setting this up for 10 years, and in some plot lines even longer, and it's like, there's been so much set up that there is no straight path here. Anyone can show up. Anyone. And it would make sense. There would be foreshadowing to say, all right, the revolutionaries are here. Yeah, cool. All of the foreshadowing in Dressrosa proved that. Oh, Blackbeard showed up. Cool. Yeah, all of the foreshadowing during the act breaks, and just in Thriller Bark with Moria, because Moria would be with Kaido, with Blackbeard, right? So it's like, there's the foreshadowing there. Shanks, he did say that Luffy and him were going to meet soon, and we have Film Red, so there's like, you know, there's that. Vegapunk, I talked about it a lot during the stream. Like, there's so much foreshadowing for all of this, including Bring Me Vegapunk by Orochi. Bird said, I gotta bounce like the stream. Yeah, see y'all on Randy Troy. Yeah, if you missed the earlier part of the stream and you want to catch it up later, this VOD will be on the second channel. And yeah, let's see here. Foggy said, what would Randy's Wano lantern wish be? Please bring Vivi back to the crew, amen. Yeah, I'd light a couple of lanterns. I'd be like, let's get Vivi back. Confirm Tama as a Korizumi. Yeah. Ohad said, "Hi Randy, what's up? Was it necessary for Oda to show us this call back to what happened in Wano again?" Yes, it was. Why is he not just starting with the long-awaited flashback of Kaido and just tell it chronically? Because this isn't about Kaido right now. This is about what Luffy's fist means as it's going to hit Kaido, and what Momo has on his shoulders as he's moving Onigashima. This is not about Kaido. When that punch hits Kaido, that's when we can talk. Then that's when we can redirect it and talk about how it affects Kaido. Right? But Luffy's going to have to show Kaido one more thing, and I think that that's going to be him lighting his fist on fire. And then that's going to, I think, trigger something in Kaido. But we needed that tension. We needed all of that. Maybe it was too long. Maybe it was padded out a little bit, but we needed it. Red Hawk said, "Did you notice the Hyogoro flashback in this chapter was a parallel to the Hyogoro flashback in episode 1015? Sure did. And, you know, we did talk about, you know, that probably happening in this chapter. And, I mean, that's just 2 Hyogoro flashbacks in 1 week right here. Shout out to my guy DK. Thanks. Said binary is awesome. 1/3 reading it, liking it so far.
Savage.
Out here promoting my scripts. Look at you. Thanks though, man. Thanks. Momo said tinfoil hat theory. Kureha's a distant relative of Imu, and that's the secret behind her youth. That would be interesting. But I highly doubt that one. It'd be more interesting if she was the person that had the operation performed on at one point. You know, maybe she was in love with a previous user of the Opi no Mi. You know? And as he was, like, on his deathbed or something like that, he, like, just gave her, you know, extra lifespan. There really could be, like, a whole tragic Kureha story, and I'm here for it. Antonio Yu said, "Hello, bro. Your 48-year-old fan just turned 49. Shout out to Antonio. Throw some happy birthdays in the chat." What's up, man? Happy birthday. Andrew Connor said, "What Straw Hats will interact with Vegapunk?" And then asked Nami. Nami doesn't need to interact with Vegapunk. It's Momonosuke, because he ate his fruit, and Vegapunk has to, like, talk to him about the fruit. Sanji, because of the connection to Judge, and maybe we'll get some, you know, lore on Mads, right? Frankie, because he's a cyborg and he's using Vegapunk's technology. And then Luffy, because Luffy's fruit is the mystical fruit that he's been looking for to be able to figure out the key to gigantification, the fruit that's been eluding them for 800 years. Nobody else in the crew has a direct line to Vegapunk's technology. Could it help Nami? Sure, but she doesn't have to have like a full-on conversation with him. Vegapunk uses technology that's 500 years advanced than the time that we're in now, which is actually probably just technology from the Ancient Kingdom. So, I mean, from that respect, like, a Robin conversation could be interesting, but it's not necessary. I don't think Brooke's going to have any input. Chopper, maybe, if Vegapunk wants to, like, actually give us the full classification of Chopper's fruit and tell us what model he has and, like, talk about Rumble Balls. Like, I mean, I guess that could be interesting. Usopp, it's nothing really gained there. Jinbei, nothing gained there. Yeah, it's really just those 4 key people. Look at all those happy birthdays in the chat to Antonio. That's what's up. What are my thoughts on Bajrang Gun? I mean, I think it needs to light on fire. I think that's all we're missing with this fist. I think Kaido's a champion for basically saying, like, yeah, no, I'm just gonna let you hit me, my guy. I'm not moving. But, you know. What happens when an immovable object meets? Let's see. Where is everybody seeing that there's, like, a smaller Kaido inside the
Savage.
like, lava, fire, flaming Kaido, though? Because you guys were saying that. I'm like, I don't know. I'm looking back through the chapter right now. Doing my reread, seeing if I pick up on any new things. This chapter was about the people of Wano more than anything. And the good thing about it is that we don't really have to focus on them anymore after this. Like, we got it. I think my favorite panel in this chapter is the one where the crops won't grow. And you just see the barren wasteland that Wano had become. And this person trying to pull some crops with, like, a human skull in the foreground. The transition from Orochi to Orochi is pretty clean. Could this be the end of Orochi, though? I think it's got to be the end of Orochi. I think it's got to be the end of Orochi now. You don't put this lantern saying please make Orochi disappear and not follow through on that. This is the end. This is the end. Free us from this hell. Like this is about to happen. And then you look at this last panel, and it looks like the sun is opening up above Onigashima. It's a great last panel. This is going to hit in the anime. People are probably sleeping on this one. This chapter is way better than the last one. Last one was good. This one was better. you know, especially for the story, what it's providing. Like, this is not a setup chapter. This is a payoff chapter. This is a lead in to the final punch. Could the fight continue on? Maybe, but if it does, like, it's going to be a completely different direction, like, trajectory here. Luffy's about to, unless something gets in the way, like, this is classic One Piece. Luffy's going to beat Kaido. It's a wrap. Orochi's down. He was the second most important villain in the arc, not Big Mom. Been saying that. Orochi's gone. It's time to take down Kaido. It's over. It's a wrap. King Suit said, do you think Tom is still alive working for the government? Like Tom? Like, do it with a Don Tom? Tom's dead. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. You know, building stuff for the world government. I think Tom's dead. Never considered him being alive, though. It's an interesting thought. Ominous Chris, thanks, said, what if Big Mom already figured out what she did to Mother and friends and had Pudding take that memory out after her crazy ass freak out? Yeah, I've said that a lot. Like, that's, you know, part of my whole, like, Pudding and Big Mom theory is, like, that was something that she had, that eventually she realized had to reconcile over the years. And then when she got a hold of the memo fruit, forced Pudding to take that out, and then Pudding just needs to put it back in, probably. Or Pudding just needs to go digging around in her mom's mind and then find that, and then reconnect, like, the break in her mind. Like, there's probably, like, different ways of, like, going inside and seeing, like, oh, these, like, synapses are not, you know, firing right over here. Connect these Legos, boom, 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 and, like, then suddenly Big Mom is, like, a mentally healthy human. I guess, I don't know. King J said, check the Discord. Alright. Tripper's gonna get back up and interfere again. Did I watch Moon Knight? I think I'm like 2 episodes behind. I gotta catch back up, but I'm not in a huge rush. Hope it was good. Let's see. Let's see what I'm tagged in here. Oh, okay. I see it. I see it. I see the Kaido within the Kaido now. Yeah, I haven't had time to see Doctor Strange yet. Trying to coordinate that and figure that out. Yeah. Let's see. My favorite Disney MCU series so far? Easy, Hawkeye. Hawkeye was the best one. Introduced the best new character, had the best chemistry, had the best story, and just fit. Just fit. So. What was that? Brandon King said, the flashback hit so hard for me when I saw those two nooses in the flashback. Shows just how hopeless some of them felt, but the others kept moving for the dawn in the future. I think I missed those nooses. Oh wait, yeah, no, I did see that. And it's crazy too, because it looks like the noose is like dripping. I can't certify that drip, but yeah. Oh, and there's another noose too. Like, there's a noose on the Crops Won't Grow panel too. There's a lot of nooses going on. Yo, all my homies hate Orochi and Kaido. Yeah, nah. They gotta go. They gotta go. That's a great detail, Brandon. Wow. Wow. Yeah. So if you look at the Flaming Drum Dragon panel, and you look at Kaido, you can see a smaller Kaido within him, and that's what Luffy's holding on to. So, and I mean, that makes sense, right? So that's, you know, basically Enel's Amaru form. It's Magellan when he uses his I forget what the attack was called, but his gigantic, you know, poison creature that he had chased everybody down at the end of the arc with, you know. King Suit, we didn't see any body, he was just on the train. I don't know what that's in reference to. Random guy said that drip is certified by Orochi. Yeah, he's probably certifying that drip for sure. Uncertified. Basic Syphilis, what's up? Sunfire will be added to the punch. Oh, no doubt. We've been talking about this. Emil said Hydra. Now, Hydra was like when he had the 3 poison snakes come out, and then he had Venom Road, which he went around. But yeah. Let's see. Krish Bora said, Luffy, who was asking Kaido suggestions for a suitable name for his attack, managed to come up with a fancy name based on a Hindu god while fighting Kaido. Biggest W he's had in the entire series. That's funny. Yeah. I mean, there's been so much, you know, I mean, when the 1018 came out, you know, we first learned about Nika and everything. I did my review and I was talking about you know, connections to Hindu culture and Javanese, you know, and not necessarily like Hanuman in particular, but, you know, everything that's also tied to Hanuman. And it just makes sense. Oda's drawing from so much in the story. He's so versed in mythology, and he ties it all together to create the ultimate story. Parvision, what's up? Did I talk about Orochi already? A lot. Yeah. I think it's a slap in everybody's face if Orochi comes back after this one. I mean, the Yamato no Orochi needs to needs the tail to be cut in the mythology, so that's the thing that's got me worried. But this should be the last head. But everything here is just leading up to the end. It feels like the end. It feels like the end of an arc. Oda's setting it up like it's the end of the arc. You know, we had this whole flashback thing that was going on. We have Orochi, you know, please make Orochi disappear. Then we have, you know, Orochi getting beheaded. Luffy's about to put it, you know, do this final blow here. Kaido is a massive creature, you know, which anytime a villain is about to, you know, get defeated, a lot of the times Moria, Enel, etc., like, they turn into this gigantic form so that we see that Luffy's gonna beat him at their, you know, 100% there. Par said, I got an idea that makes Orochi coming back actually makes sense. Yeah, me too. Thomas Kurazumi. Share it, man. Share it. Let's hear it. Let's see. Oh, King Su was talking about Tom again. That he was just on the train. That's true. That's true. Could be, you know, could be something to it. Could be something to it. Let's see. Can we get Parvision in a Discord call? Yeah, why not? Yeah. Let's see. Disco Yapper just joined. Your predictions for the next chapter. Momo moves Onigashima as the lanterns are going up. Luffy lights his fist on fire. Fist comes crashing down on Kaido. It looks like the sun is out. And then we ended potentially with starting the Kaido flashback. And then on 1050 is all the Kaido flashback. Or we beat Kaido and 1050 is the party. Oh, still love the spoilers alert. Oh yeah, I didn't unpin the. Let's see. Yeah, I mean the no spoilers alert is really only for the for when I was doing the read through. Let's see. Ugh. Hold on a sec. We're gonna get Parvision in here. Give me a second. Parvision, go into the VC channel that I'm in. Let's see. Let's see. If you see me in there, Par, like I'm in a VC channel on the Discord. One of the voice channels.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Nice.
Let's see, but can the people hear you? That's what I need to do a test. Let's see.
True. Sorry for ambushing you in stream.
They called it a Par intrusion. Yeah.
It's pretty funny all the names that people are giving me. I've been getting quite a lot.
Yeah. Everybody in the chat, let me know if you can hear Parvision, and then we'll get into it. It's super loud. All right. Let me
Dang, I'm scary loud. I was just recording, that's probably why.
Yeah, I actually had to lower it on my end in the headphones, but I just took it down a few decibels, so maybe it's good. If it's still too loud, we'll go into it.
Okay. Yeah, if the chat says it's still loud, then I'll turn myself down too, or I'll move away from the mic, whichever one.
You move away from the mic so you can breathe.
It's pretty far. I don't know, like.
That's an old meme joke. I don't know if you know about Tay-Zonde.
I don't.
That's a meme from like, God, 2006, 2007. One of the early YouTube videos. This dude was like, he had this really deep voice, and he had this like song called Chocolate Rain, and on the bottom of it he had a note like explaining why. And it was basically just him recording against the the microphone, and that was the whole thing. But he had a little text, asterisk, I move away from the mic so I can breathe in. And then that was on t-shirts, it was just memed for years.
I feel when you said Chocolate Rain, I had like flashbacks. I don't remember all of it, but that definitely gave me some nostalgia a little bit. So how far were you into the chapter? You usually do 12:15, right? That's when you start?
Yeah, 12:15 is the start, and then I usually actually end either around, between now and like 2:30. So so I'm getting close to wrapping things up, but yeah, I don't know, just treat this as like a a separate thing here, and I don't know, I'll put the VOD up. I mean, this wasn't planned, right? So
for what the chat knows, it wasn't planned.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess this chapter was a lot of fun. It ended up being my pretty long, because I usually do like a first read reaction kind of video where I just run through the panels, give my reaction, off the dome kind of like thoughts. And this one, there's so many things to it. And the Orochi thing, I sat down on my live stream and I was just like, Orochi has to be dead, right? Orochi is dead, but and then we went through the whole thing. It's like this is the 8th head that's been cut off, but the panels just don't make it feel like it's over, right? Is that how you feel too?
I don't know. I'm torn, man. So I'm probably going to split this up and put this separately on YouTube, since we're collabing here. But so I'm just gonna throw this out here. We got Parvision here as a special guest, jumped into the stream, so we're here to talk about 1048 with my guy Par here. I feel like this is probably the end here. Like, to be perfectly honest, like, everything is being set up. This is the way that arcs end. You go back to Skypiea, you go back to Thriller Bark, right? And we have a ton of parallels between both of those arcs here to begin with, right? So like Moria went into his Shadows Asgard form, Enel went into his Amaru form. This Flaming Drum Dragon form by Kaido feels no different. He's going into his, his most biggest 100% power form, and Luffy has to take him down with that. So I think we're going to get a gigantic fire Luffy fist, because that's
okay.
And I think that's it. Kaido's going to be taken down, and it's going to parallel the end of Thriller Bark, where Luffy brought back the sun to all of the the people that had their shadows taken away, even people that weren't even like on Thriller Bark physically. We're talking about how the sun opened up for them. So now the people of Wano were talking about how the sun, when the sun comes out, they're going to be slaves again. Well, that's not necessarily going to be the case, at least, until maybe after they start, partying a little bit or something like that, and the world government ships pull up. Because I still feel like there needs to be a Kuma to this Thriller Bark, right? So they start feeling happy. They start, like, oh, okay, cool. Sun's out, guns out. Let's go. Like, this is it. And then this other element, whether it's Big Mom, crawling back from, the little hole that Law sent her into, whether it's Vegapunk on these ships, which is very likely and, very foreshadowed, Blackbeard, whatever. Someone's going to come up and it's going to be pretty devastating, in my opinion. Orochi should be done. I still want to get that Tama being a Kurozumi connection, to come out at some point, but this is poetic.
That's actually a good someone brought you up in my stream last night about they told me about your the Tama Kurozumi thing, and I was just like, because the hair, was it the main crux of it being like the hair connection, right?
The hair connection is what like gave me the light bulb moment. Like, when you get a theory and like you just kind of see something and you're like, oh wait, right? Because the anime revealed, or whatever the first colors came out that showed like Orochi had purple hair, Tama had purple hair, and I was just like, and we had already had like all of this, not Orochi, we had all of this stuff between Tama and Momonosuke, and I just started to think about the levels, the layers of like their friendship. A Kozuki and a Kurozumi, right? Right. And it's like, if Orochi was Tama's dad, right? Orochi killed Momonosuke's dad, and here they're friends, right? And there's all of this stuff about Momonosuke talking to Tama and like basically like saying, hey, like I'm a big deal. Like, you should actually, put some respect on my name, right? And she's just sitting there like, Momo-kun, right? But it's like, if she's Orochi's daughter, like, technically she's the next in line, because, Orochi officially, is, running the country, so it's kind of like...
Right.
But then it's just... I would love that whole thing where, okay, Tama's a Kurozumi. Kurozumis are bad, right? So, but then it's like, but wait, but Tama did all of this stuff to help us out. Tama's a good person. I want that question to be brought up. That for Momonosuke to just kind of have that sort of internal dialogue and then like get over that. And then the sins of the father don't actually matter in this particular instance, because Tama, wasn't raised by him. It's not in her nature. So.
Yeah, this chapter, I think this is like probably the best chapter for me and you to connect on, because like I had a crazy idea too when I was reading it, and that's why the thought came up. But now just hearing like your perspective on like Wano in the future, it's really exciting to hear, because it's different, but like I see what you're saying, and I was like, ooh, there's so many ways it can go. And so I think I entered the stream talking about the Orochi thing, but now I want to talk about this Tama thing. So the panel from this chapter where they showed all the daimyo from like the different regions.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I was just like, one of the regions is called Kibi, and I was just like, is this daimyo the Tama's dad, like an ancestor or something, because it was just
The
like
Kibi.
really weird. And like we don't know who her dad is. And then someone brought up like the whole you were saying the Kurozumi Tama thing, and I was and the hair stuff, and in the anime they make Orochi's hair like more pinkish, and then I was like, wait a second, this isn't the only fatherless kid or parentless kid in the storyline that's super important. There's actually Toko, who's Yasue isn't her real dad. We don't know whose parent
Right.
Toko
I
is.
really think Orochi was out here, to be perfectly honest.
I mean, we know that the Kurozumi had other people too, because like the Higurashi and the other people, those are Kurozumi too. So like, I think in part of your theory, you're saying that we don't know where the Kurozumi are. There might be other survivors. We don't actually really know. But so I was thinking about that, right? And then what happened was a few panels before that, in the thing, and this is part of the thing I just recorded. This is why it's fresh on my head, but a few panels before they go, someone talks to Orochi and says, what of Odin's wife? And then here, let me just pull up the thing so I can quote it right. So it says, what of Odin's wife? She was confirmed dead in Bakura town. No one else was seen fleeing the ruins of Odin Castle. The Kozuki line is officially dead. And I read that and I was just mind blown, because I was just like, wait a second. Everything that they said in this panel is a lie, because if we take it backwards, the Kozuki line is officially dead. That's what they assume. That's a false proclamation because they're assuming that, but we know that's false. Hiyori and Momo both survived, so that line is false. No one else is seen fleeing the ruins of Odin Castle, right? That one we know is they're just assuming. They didn't see Hiyori and Kawamatsu escape the castle. Someone actually fled, and they also don't know Toki's situation, which is another example of someone fleeing. So that's a line that was also false, and it was a proclamation that's not true from our perspective. We know that. So then it makes you question the first part of it, which is she was confirmed dead in Bakura town, which is like, I heard people had the thought that Toki's still alive, and I wasn't like sold on that, but like this is three statements in a row and two of them are clearly not true. So then it makes you wonder about that third or the first one here. And so then I was like, wait, like Momo was a daimyo, like Odin was a daimyo, right? He's a kid who's sent to the future. What if Toki's last thing that she did was sent all the daimyo's kids to the future? Toko and Tama being the other kids. And I was just like, nah, this is too wild. But then I was like, well, we don't know who's their parents. Like it's kind of crazy, and I don't know where it lines up, because are they Kurozumi? Are they not? It's really interesting to think about. And yeah, so I was just, and your theory came up then too, and I was just like, oh my god, there's so many ways this can go down with these kids. Like it's really, really
I just want to muddy the waters. I want to add some layers to all of this, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's also, you know, you have to go back to why all of this started between the Kurozumi and the Kozuki in the first place. It was because of Orochi's grandfather, right? But I mean, almost. But really, you could argue, and I mean, and this is like savage, and it's not really, the right way to go about it, but it's actually more so. Odin's grandfather is to blame because he wasn't able to produce a kid fast enough. So everybody started to get all, antsy, and that's what caused, the Kurozumi to start, offing some of these people. And then Odin's grandfather, who we don't really see, went off and started this, like, Kurozumi manhunt. And then it's like, basically just by Sukiyaki being born, it doomed the entire Kurozumi land. So that's
true.
The Kurozumi line. So Momo has the sins of like his fathers, his grandfather, his great grandfather. Like he's carrying that. So he has to. I would love to see him restore the Kurozumi line with Tama. Like, not all of you are bad. Not all of you deserve to get persecuted because of like one dude. Because you're not all bad, right? But by doing what they did, they created Kanjuro. They created Orochi. So it's like they brought their own downfall down. And it's just poetic. It's poetry. If
So to add to the poetry, the other thing that I was thinking about with Toko being the Kurozumi is the whole in Flower Capital, where in the castle or whatever they call it, Orochi and Toko had the whole thing where like how twisted it would it be if Toko was a Kurozumi and he was about to kill his own bloodline because she was like poisoned by the smile fruits that he inflicted on his people, like indiscriminately. Poetry. Yeah, like there's just so many ways. Like the Tama thing could work, the Toko thing could work. Now if Toki's alive, then I don't know what other things can work, but like it's just it's kind of. And then I was thinking like both of the Yasue and Ushimaru, they're both Shimotsuki. What about their offspring? Did they have someone sent to the future? I don't really know. It's kind of like there's so many things up in the air with that part.
But it's also like I don't believe Orochi when you know, it's like it's really sus when you go back to the part where Odin asks Orochi what happened to his dad, and Orochi just smiles at him, right? And that's why I believe the theory that Hitetsu is Sukiyaki, and that's who's going to be the shogun when this is all over and done with, until Momo's of age. It's just going to return back to him. It's just Oda's cycle of fallen kings coming back into power. Riku, Cobra, Boodle, Gonfall. Like, we see this time and time again. Like, that's just what it's going to be. That man's going to take that mask off and he's going to be Momo's grandfather. So
that'd be wild. Wait, but if he saw Momo though, wouldn't he have a different reaction?
Sure, because he would think it's Odin.
Did. No, I mean as a kid, like, because they met up, they saw each other right before the war, right? So was there, because now I would go back based off what you said, I would really look at the dialogue and see if there's like Hitetsu says something that kind of is like, hey, what did you mean by that? You know what I mean? Like maybe you're right. Maybe he is the grandfather, and then like he let loose like one line.
Things. I mean, I don't know if this is, you know, one of the first times you're hearing about this, but it's like in the Oda box for Hitetsu, it tells us that he's a Kokeshi doll collector. But then when we see Sukiyaki, he has Kokeshi dolls. So,
oh shit.
Yeah, he has the same voice actor, Sukiyaki and Hitetsu, or it's the same voice actor. Like, like
oh my god, like, wait, Oda, that's so wild.
Like Oda told Toei already, like, yeah, don't give them a different voice. Like bro, like that's a done deal theory. Like,
yo, 100%. I don't know if you saw my Strong World video, but I was saying Strong World the movie is just the foreshadow for the entire time skip. It was Oda just sandboxing a script and I made that but like maybe at the end of last year or something. And then like I was basically saying like we're probably gonna see like an El Thor like cloud giant like thing come down on Kaido, and I was like, I don't know about that. I don't know if Oda's gonna do that. But then we saw that, and I was just like,
Kaido is Shiki. Kaido is Shiki. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like they're both the king of the beasts.
King of beasts, like floating islands. Like I've talked about this, and you know, one of my favorite old theories. I don't even think Ragnar has it up anymore, but he had a obviously it's not true, but it was like one of the wildest theories that was out. One of my favorite theories was that he thought that Shiki was going to be like the mastermind behind Kaido because of all of the 20 years stuff and everything, and he was like breaking down Strong World also, and I was just like, yeah, you know. And then it's like, of course, when 997 came out and he puts, you know, Onigashima in the air, I'm just like, all right, this is Strong World 2.0 right here. This is
100%.
This is what we're dealing with. But I think that a lot of, and I've said this, I feel like a lot of the ideas that Oda had for Strong World were just ideas that that he kind of like put into the movie, but really always planned to use for the story. So
yeah, 100%. It was basically a test run.
Yeah. Because
he in an interview he said that like he used Strong World because I don't remember, but Shiki had like basically the opposite of Smiles, where he had mutant beasts, and so he used Strong World to relearn how to draw animals and get better at that. And then so while Strong World was coming out, Impel Down was being made, and he was working on both. And so the animators and editors are like, oh, you use strong, that's why we're getting like the beasts in Impel Down. And he's like, yeah, that's why. And so the reason why I brought up Strong World though is I don't know if you remember Dr. Indigo. He was Shiki's like scientist guy.
Yep.
He
same voice actor
had the same voice actor. Yeah. And I was just like, oh god. And that was way before Punk Hazard.
And then he's using like plagues like Queen too. So.
Yeah, and also Dr. Indigo had a non-devil fruit power of controlling gas, and I was just like, all right, cool. This plays into my devil seed theory, but also it's like this is literally Caesar's prototype, and then so in line with the voice actor thing, 100%, like what you just said about Sukiyaki and Hitetsu, that's Oda just like, yeah, let's just do it. Let's do this. That's wild though. I didn't know that. That's crazy. Yeah. Ooh, I gotta let that sink in now.
Oh yeah.
Because I had a whole separate thing about Hitetsu too. Because we saw like one panel of him without the wings, but like I was sitting there like, yo, he has wings. Like, why are we talking about this? Like, are these wings? Like, is he Skypean? Like, what's going on? Like,
nah,
and then what's even weirder is like.
That's
yeah, and so there was a panel from Fire Festival, and I was just like, oh, he doesn't have the wings there. Like, it's still like weird, but now with the Sukiyaki theory, like, I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot, actually. Dang. So how do you think he escaped then? Like, they just like let him leave?
No, I mean, I think he got out. I think like if, I think maybe, all right. So this, I kind of go into the Tama as a Kurozumi theory that I have on the channel. It's like there's a couple of different scenarios that could have happened. Orochi could have subjugated him and had him like work for him or anything like that, or kept him down in the area where the poneglyph was in the castle, that Brook found, and then also Brook found Kokeshi dolls down there, which is why I say that. So, like, I feel like that Kokeshi thing is just, like, this, like, big looming connection that Oda's drawing there as well. But if, like, it also ties into this Tama stuff, too. Like, Orochi had an ability to gather fruits, as we could see from, like, Higuarashi, who, like, had, Conjuro's
well,
fruit.
she had that ability. Who knows where she got it from, right? That's kind of weird.
Right. But Orochi's a planner and a schemer. Like, Tama's fruit is directly like able to counter like everything that Kaido was trying to do. So I feel like Orochi went out of his way to procure that fruit and had a special plan for it. And Hitetsu may have stolen it when he left, or Tama is his daughter. He stole her to make sure that she doesn't end up like Orochi, then goes out, and hides, right? Why did Drake come and try to destroy Amikasa Village, right? Probably because they were trying to find Sukiyaki and, maybe even Tama. So, and then the second they learn that this girl has this power, like, they go hard body to get Tama. Like, wait, that's a real devil fruit. You're controlling animals. Like, hold up. Hold'em is like really after Tama. Like, it's a big deal. Oda stretched in the first chapter that we meet Tama, like, Luffy's first thing to Tama is like, wow, your power's pretty useful, isn't it? And it's like, and as we've seen now, a couple of years later, it was useful. Turned the tide for the war. So
I really like that sentiment of Tama's fruit being like a contingency plan. Like, cause now that I'm like, I don't think it's Orochi, but like if Higurashi, like she was the one bringing all these fruits, right? Like she brings over Kaido, cause I think she was like, we need to bring in a pirate, right? That's what she said to Orochi or something like that.
How crazy would it be, right? And it's been speculated before, but how crazy would it be if Kaido and Higurashi really had like a prior relationship, because
right
she turned into Shiki.
She knew Shiki,
right? So Rock's connection right there, probably.
The Tama fruit. Now, but just walking back a second in this conversation, I just realized how stacked the Kurozumi were in devil fruits. Like Higurashi and then the other person had the Bari Bari no Mi, the Mane Mane no Mi, which are really crazy. Right. Orochi has a mythical Hydra, which I want to put a pin in because that's what I want to talk about. And then Kanjuro has this drawing fruit, right? And I forget who I was talking to, but it's like this dude made a clone of himself that fought Kiku, and she had no understanding that it was a clone. Like, what if he just drew a bunch of Kaidos? Like, isn't that possible? Like, you made Kazunbo, right? And then if you're saying Tama's a Kurozumi too, it's like this whole family is just, they're stacked. That is a stacked family. Even without the Tama part, they're stacked. That's kind of wild.
I need Usopp to find Kanjuro's fruit ASAP though.
Yeah, that would be fun. Either Usopp or Frankie, right? Because to be honest, Frankie doesn't.
Just Usopp, because Usopp's one of his first lines when he joined the crew was "Leave all the painting to me." When he painted the fruit.
Oh shit! Yeah, I remember that. The reason why I was saying Frankie is because technically a devil fruit wouldn't affect him because he would sink anyways because he's. But
he already said in Dressrosa, he turned down the Maramara no Mi. He's like, I don't want a fruit. So Frankie's never gonna eat one.
That's true. But imagine if he could just draw Pluton because he knows Pluton. That'd be wild. I'm just saying. Because his problem was he was like, how does somebody build this? Well, I mean, if you get Kanjuro's fruit, you could probably build it. As long as you know what it looks like, I guess. But that being said, with Orochi's fruit, right? One of the things that really bothers me, I guess, is he has a mythical Zoan. Right? He has a mythical zone. That's a really powerful fruit to just be in every showing. He's just been one shot. So if you think that he's dead right now, do you think his fruit gets transferred or do you think it's just tossed? It's just gone?
I mean, a competent person with that fruit would be crazy, but I mean, a lot of people have speculated what if that's what Blackbeard's coming from? They either it's Blackbeard's coming to Wano, he's going to take Marco's fruit, he's going to take Kaido's fruit. What if he's going to take Orochi's fruit? And now, I mean, there's a lot of mythological, connections with Shintoism and everything. And we're seeing a lot of Susanoo in Luffy, who is the god, the Shinto god of storms and seas, right? Luffy wants to be the king of the seas. The D will bring another storm. And Susanoo was the person who took out the Yamato no Orochi, and you needed to cut off all the heads, you needed to cut off the tail, and there's a little bit of Zoro that is Susanoo-esque as well, but it's just what I think we're done with that fruit. I think we're done with it.
So what I wanted to say was okay, it's a mythical Zoan, right? And if you think he's dead, this is what plays into my theory I don't want to say theory because it's just it came to me I was wait a second, this is kind of wild to think about. Right. But what happened when Luffy is a mythical Zoan, right? What happened when he died?
Our boy came back.
Savage.
And he awakened, right? Yeah. And so you're probably there's no stop Orochi's not awakening. I agree Orochi's not awakening. He's not gonna be like Luffy, but and when you think about it, Orochi's scum. He doesn't have haki, he doesn't have willpower, he doesn't have dreams. He's literally, he doesn't do anything on his own, right? But what if this is the the setup for an awakening, the impaled down jailers, and he just goes mindless and turns into the mindless Hydra awakening? And then I was that could be why we're seeing Orochi die. This is now the third time we're seeing him die the exact same way. Head cut off.
I only want that if Zoro's the one that kills him.
Yes, exactly. And so that's what I said in my chapter, where I was all right, this chapter said hell 3 times. And I made a joke. I was what happens when you say hell 3 times? The king of hell has to come through. There's you're literally asking for the king of hell to come back. And I'm why would Zoro even need to come back? Well, the only adversary at this point would probably be an awakened Orochi. And then that's where the whole Susanoo, if he does the Ashura thing, I don't know, who knows what could come from that. But now I'm just this kind of fits. This is a way to make Wano or Onigashima even crazier. And
yeah,
I've
I've talked about this a lot, because it's Hiyori and Zoro, they were sitting at the shrine. He's I want to avenge Yasuie. Zoro said that. then Hiyori said,
Right.
no, I want to be the one to strike him down. So I had the theory for the longest that I wanted Hiyori to be a secret samurai
Yes.
trained by Denjiro to like take out
Me
Orochi on her
too.
own. I wanted that. I was like, come on, like let's get a badass female swordsman in here.
I was on that boat until I saw like when Orochi like was on fire and then he started attacking and then Hiyori cried. I was like, oh, we're not. She's not pulling it out.
It was just Oda went with the the expected thing. He had Denjiro come out and do it, and then parallel the moment from 9
Flower Capital. Yep, exactly. Same pose.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. Now, the way everything is set up here, it's like the two big villains of the arc are Orochi and Kaido. It's not Kaido and Big Mom. It's never been that because this is a Wano-centric story. It's not about Big Mom. She was just some extra element to this. She's just some flavor in the arc. So this is about these two guys. So now we have this parallel moment where Orochi's taken down this chapter based on the story structure and the way that Oda goes about things. Like, it makes sense to me if in the next chapter we have Kaido getting hit with the final blow, and then maybe we either finish this fight with Kaido and we have a party the next chapter, we start that, or we start the flashback with 1050, because Oda is padding this out to hit something by 1050. He wants to do something at 1050. So, and he loves his numbers, so that all just makes sense to me. But there has to be a, like, in quotations, Kuma of this arc that pulls up, and I think it's going to be Vegapunk more than anything. And I think he's actually going to be a competent fighter.
So something that I was thinking about in terms of, because like you're feeling like it's going to end by like 1050, like things are going to start closing off. And so what I was kind of thinking is we started getting like flashbacks, but these flashbacks are kind of like flashbacks that we kind of already knew about, like even this chapter, 20 years, it was a flashback, but we kind of knew all of it. It was just, it hit really hard.
It's the perspective change, right? Because that's
right.
That's the whole difference here. I had a couple people in the chat earlier. My guy Gio, he was saying that he was calling it a snoozer because he felt like it was all redundant information. But the thing is like this is shonen tropes right here. We need
right.
This.
I love this chapter.
I love this too. I said this chapter is better than the last chapter, and it's like when we saw Odin get executed, we saw it from the perspective of Odin and Kaido, right? But we didn't actually see but now we're seeing the perspective of the scabbards running away, and then the bang and all of that. Like we're sitting in like Kiku's moment there, but then we're actually like diving into the people and we're seeing all of these different changes. My favorite panel in this is the one about the crops, and you just see the barren wasteland.
Right. Yeah. I said the same thing.
You see the the person pulling the crops up. There's a noose on the tree. There's a skull in the foreground. Like, we need this. We need a reminder that like Luffy is the liberator. Every arc, every single arc, he is liberating people. He is saving people. We've been talking about that before the Joy Boy connections, before the Nika connections. It's just someone's being subjugated. Whether it's like literally, figuratively, mentally, Luffy comes in and he frees them of their issues. So these people say the sun is going to come out, they're going to still be slaves. No, the sun is going to come out and you're not going to be slaves because this man is about to liberate you. Now, granted, there's world government ships, and they're that could still turn into some sort of a subjugation because they want the weapons, they want the factories. But by the end of the series, certainly these borders are going to be open, and Luffy's going to, free the world. But man, we need this. we need this. We need this because this is the power behind the punch.
Right. 100%.
This is the power behind the punch. That's what makes this believable that this could be the end, because we had this chapter.
So what I was thinking I agree with you that this chapter is like super important. I love the way that they did it, because there's also like one of the biggest things about it is the frustration that the remaining daimyo and the samurai had in not standing up to Kaido earlier with Odin before Odin died to save his, like, so many different points where they just like essentially were more passive and all, not all that it took, but like now you can very clearly see it. It's now or never in the story. And so like a lot of people are like, you know, oh, the samurai just, you know, they don't want to live, you know, it's like that kind of weird thing. But it's like, no, they're putting their life on the line in this moment because they didn't before, and this is all the stuff that they went through, and they're not gonna relive that ever again. And I think that like the same thing with that panel. The other part that really hit me was like the only person in it was like this starving person on their knees with a baby on her back, and like it was just brutal to see that scene. And Oda like had the noose thing more than once, and I was just like, yep. this is insane. And the perspective thing, right, is really important because we're getting all these perspectives, and the one perspective that we haven't gotten yet is Kaido's. And so the way I've been feeling like is like we're probably gonna get like more clash. And then towards the end, and this is really wonky because when I'm saying this, I'm not taking into consideration like scheduling and timing, but like if we're talking about important chapter numbers, 1056, you know, 5-6 for the Gomu thing, like
shout out to,
I feel
to
maybe
Gomu
that's
Day
changed
right now, May 6th right now.
That's true. That is true. So and so there's a lot of ways it could go down, but like it just feels like we're gonna get like a little stall probably with Kaido's perspective, because that's the one thing that like we've gotten from King's side of what Kaido, but we've never gotten Kaido's side of it. And even like with on Yamato's end, we got Yamato's perspective on her childhood with Kaido. But like there's one line that still bothers me to like whenever I write anything about mythical zones or anything, like in my last few videos, I don't know how many times I mentioned it, but Kaido said, and this is another thing with mythical zones, I'll talk about it in a second, but Kaido said he worked really hard to get Yamato's fruit. And that just struck me like this man worked hard. Like we're seeing him like literally become a magma dragon, whatever. Like what does working hard mean to him? Is he working hard right now? I don't know. So it's like, what does that mean when he says that he worked hard to get Yamato's fruit? I need to know how Yamato's fruit got back. If that line wasn't said, I wouldn't necessarily care as much, but because he said that, I feel like we have to see what happened with Kaido's perspective with what he did, the 20 years, right? Because we got the 20 years from Odin, we got the 20 years from everybody else except the man who started it, you know, not started it, but like instigated the 20 years, right? So I feel like that perspective is important.
We started this arc with a prologue, went into the Odin flashback, then we had the we have all of this, which is like the meat, right? I feel like we're gonna go into a reasonable flashback and then have our epilogue, and that flashback should be Kaido's, and it should be from his perspective, and that'll probably happen once this punch connects, if anything. You know, that's
right,
because it's got to be we've seen it before with plenty of villains. The punch connects, they start reflecting on their life, we come back out of it, they're defeated, and you know, that's just it. You know, your life flashes before your eyes. You know, that's just
right.
What we're gonna get.
I think also
there
it's
also
kind
needs
of
to be
like
a connection. Sorry to cut you off. I just want to finish the point, but there also needs to be a connection when he looks at Luffy, and like, I need Kaido to say something about Joy Boy too.
About Luffy. Joy Boy, yeah. I need that. I need that. Like, 100%.
Because we had, I guess you couldn't be Joy Boy either. You know, like I go into a lot. I just put a new theory video out, you know, about the original Joy Boy being a snake.
I saw it,
and
I liked it.
Appreciate it. And you know, the miscommunication of Kaido, you know, over the years, and Telephone also being a blue snake like the snakes in Skypiea, you know, believing that he could be Joy Boy. Rocks may have read something and like thought that that Kaido's fruit was the important one, right? And then it's just like, oh, I guess you couldn't be Joy Boy either. Now he needs to see him, like, you know, activate, you know, fire onto this fist and open up like he's the true sun god here. And it's just like, okay, you're Joy Boy. Like, and he just sort of like just relinquishes and takes his hit. He's already said he's not moving, so.
Right. I had a, what were you gonna say?
No, that's
I had a, like, I want that same thing too, where it's like like Kaido recognizes the Joy Boy thing or Sun God Nika something, because they seem to, Kaido and King both seem to know some history, some legend of this, right? And in the flashbacks, it almost seemed like King was more knowledgeable of it. So I kind of had a little bit of a goofy moment where I was like, what if King comes back to the fight and then, like, because at this point Kaido's fighting Luffy and he doesn't see any difference. He just is like, what is this? A white Zoan transformation? Like, what's going on here? But it'd be crazy if King showed up and then, since it feels like he knew more about Joy Boy, and he was like, wait, Nika? Like, you know, like he could recognize it. It's like, wait, this is the warrior. This is Joy Boy. And then Kaido's like, this is Joy Boy right here, like in, like, you know what I mean, like one of those things. I don't know how that would go down, but like maybe after, I don't know, but like to go back to the life flashing before your eyes, I think the other part of it too is like we're also seeing it, and we saw with Momo too, where like Momo had the flashback last chapter and then he used the flashback. It was a goofy thing where he's just like, I can't move the island, and then he had the quick flashback and then he's like, I got this, mom, and then he headbutts the island. And I was just like, that's kind of how the flashbacks work, where like you're on your last leg, you have the flashback, and then you pull one last thing out of your bag, right? So then that's kind of why we haven't gotten that from Kaido yet, because his bag is infinite bag. Like I don't know how else to describe it, but like the moment we get Kaido's flashback, that's how we know there's probably one last thing in his bag, and then that will be the last clash of everything, and it'll be quick, it'll be crazy, and you know the anime is going to drag it on for like 10 episodes, but it is what it is. It'll be exciting to see if they keep it with the same energy from 10-15, but yeah, it's just like, oh man, the Wano can end so many different ways. It feels like, I think King of Lightning was just saying it, like we've been in Wano for 4 years or something like that. So it is,
it's wild, man. It's wild.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna let's see, I'm gonna start winding down the stream. We'll wrap up the YouTube portion of this with the collab. I'll chop this up, I'll put this up separately. I'll need you to send me your PNG. I'll put it on the
all right.
And then,
sounds good. We should probably set up a theory for theory, the full thing.
Yeah, bro. I mean, you know, you just caught me at the tail end of this stream, you know, but this was fun.
Surprise.
This was good.
Yeah, it was
fun.
fun.
Good. You know, give the people a little bit of an extra discussion this week. So
yeah,
shout out to Parvision. Check his channel out. I'll have it linked below. And yeah, man. Anything you want to say?
I just wanted to say the your Snake Man Joy Boy thing. I really liked that video a lot. I mean, a lot of your videos, but that one was really awesome because it came out on the same day as my Shadows video. It's titled like Toon Force. Luffy does not have Toon Force. It's pretty interesting, and the reason why it's interesting is because like we talk about a similar concept from a completely different angle, but there's a way it mixes, and then maybe you'll see it once you watch it, because when I watched yours I was just like, wait, this is something that we could talk about, like theory for theory, like see if there's like another way that this could go down. But it was definitely love your channel. Thank you for bringing me on at the end of your stream too. It's a lot of fun. I'm so glad we got to talk about this chapter. There's so much, and it also just want to say like the wavelength too, like a lot of the things you're saying, I definitely loved hearing, loved talking about.
Oh yeah, no, I know we would be able to fill 2 hours, bro, for sure. All right, so
easily
like, comment, subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. And then let me get into some chats here. Young Yeet said, what if they retake the flower capital in Onigashima and find Orochi and Kaido's stash of devil fruits? I mean, that'd be interesting. I mean, I don't know, you know, I mean, I just want the Kanjuro Usopp thing. And then Ramona Vila said, Momo doesn't get enough credit for being a kid and still taking the responsibilities that his father, larger-than-life hero, runs away from, led to Wano's demise, thanks to both of you. Momo doesn't get enough credit because he's not a kid anymore. I mean, he still is. He's mentally a kid. He's been going through way too much, and I've talked about it before. We're living Momo's, like,
100%.
We're living Momo's flashback right now because Momo's joining. So and it's when you take into consideration everything that he's been through and all of that, like it's one of the most tragic, like among the crew. So
Momo's story is the most tragic in I think all of One Piece. Like it's kind of brutal. Like he had his dad was killed, and the strongest man rolled up to his house and burned it down, and then lifted him up, and then he had to leave. He had to choose to leave his mom, and then
that's why
Oda's not doing Momo.
I mean, I had Hidden on here, for theory, and he was saying like, what if Hiyori dies? And I was just like, bro, like you're gonna add more to this kid? Like, I mean, Kinemon is already on the plate, like.
Yo, awkward moment. Me and Hidden talked about that together. We came up with that together on stream. And I said the same thing. I'm like, we're awful people for doing this to Momo.
Right, yeah. But I mean, that's why I want Wano to get annexed by the world government, because then it gives Momo a reason to like stay with the Straw Hats until Luffy can free the world. So
that would be interesting.
And yeah, take one last look at the chat here, and then I'm gonna start wrapping things up. The Parvision part of this will be on the main channel. The rest of the stream will be on the second channel, Randy Troy. Links below if you want to catch the VOD if you missed any little bit of this. And yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Brandon King said, "Carrot, I'm here to fight for Wano and eat grass, and I'm all out of fight." Yeah. Well, there's plenty of grass. There's always plenty of grass. Yeah. I talk about it a lot, but I don't know if Carrot's joining. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I don't agree either. Zunisha's here. She can go home.
I don't think there's gonna be. I would actually prefer that there's no home for the minks to go to, so that they can actually like start populating the world.
Like Zunisha lifts the island, like the place off of it, puts it on Wano, and then that's their new home.
No, I would prefer that like they don't need like Zo at all, because either it gets destroyed or something like that. Like Fishman Island's going to get destroyed by Luffy, so that the fishmen can can join the world again. One Piece, PEACE, bro. Luffy's going to unite all of the races, so the minks are going. They don't have to hide away up on top of Zo. They don't need to hide, and the fishermen don't need to hide down below. They're coming to the surface. Everybody's going to live together. That's it. So something's going to happen to the top of to Zo or Zunisha or something like that. I don't know what it's going to be, but the minks, they don't need to hide anymore, and the reason they're there is because they're hiding.
Yeah, there's so many exciting things that could happen, especially with the Fishman Island thing, because that was something I'll save it for later for the next time we talk. But the mythical Zoan fruit theory with the idea that they seem to all be guardian spirits, and so like Yamato's wolf is Wano, and then in one of my videos I was like, Pell is an interesting one, because maybe he was a mythical Zoan, but he was the guardian spirit of Alabasta. Mm-hmm. And then it's like wait, like Kaido's a mythical Zoan, and they regard Luffy, sun god Nika, as the guardian deity. He could be, we don't know what he's the guardian spirit of, but it seems like that lines up. And I was like, wait, Kaido, earlier in the thing they regard him the guardian spirit or guardian deity of land, and then I was like, what could he be the guardian spirit of? And he's the fish fruit. And then if you think back what Fishman Island, it's called Ryugu Kingdom, Ryugu Palace. Look on top of the palace. Yep. Oh, yeah. It's a giant dragon. Where did that dragon? They don't have dragons.
And it looks just like the one that Ace put his fist through. There's
on Onigashima. And it's like, where's the connection? And then there's that whole clan.
That all of those kingdoms, they're all bound together. They're all bound together.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last thing I want to talk about is Orochi with the Hydra thing. What if he was the guardian spirit of Ruskaina? Oh, not Ruskaina, Amazon Lily, the top of it, all the snakes, and he's the Hydra. I was like, ooh, wait a second. This is kind of interesting now.
I'm gonna meet you again with that. Marigold's attack. Or no, Sanderson.
Oh yeah.
Yamato no Orochi starts turning her hair into, she calls it the Yamato no Orochi attack, and attacks Luffy with it. It's just...
Yeah, so there's an interesting thing with this, and it just got bolstered by this chapter with Kaido's new power. I didn't even imagine it, but to me, it just clarify, like, his thing, it's not fire, it's magma, right? Like, that's how you're seeing it.
What Kaido's doing?
Yeah, like around him.
I mean, it seems like a lot of people are calling it that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that's just gearing us up for Luffy versus Akainu, right? Ace's fire couldn't fight Akainu. Well, you know, how about the power of the sun? You know, that's
right.
That's how we're gonna beat Akainu.
The thing with the magma is, at very early on, Nami explained how islands are made, and this is not just the One Piece thing, but underwater volcanoes and explode magma creates islands. And so if Kaido is the guardian deity of land, and he has this form now, and he's from like the Guardian Spirit of Fishman Island, that kind of tells you that he probably like the originator was the person, or the originator of his fruit, the dragon, was probably making all the islands. And now he has a magma attack that quite literally could just make all the islands. If he just went into the ocean, his magma would just leave islands. Like, we wouldn't. Oh wow, maybe the red line. I don't know. That gets too crazy. We could talk about like that later.
Yeah, we're gonna have to save that for later. I do have to run.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you joining me, man. I appreciate everybody joining in the chat. Love this chapter, and thanks again, everybody. Look out for the analysis. Look out for the chopped part of this. Analysis will be out on Monday, and that's it. All right. Later, everybody.
Later.